Despite the substantially longer zoom range offered by the RX100 Vi compared to its predecessors, you would be hard-pushed to pick it out of an RX100 series lineup, as the design is almost identical to previous generations. The RX100 Vi is only 1.8 mm thicker than the RX100 V at 42.8 mm, and only 2 grams heavier at 301 grams. This means the RX100 Vi features the same sleek and understated look that previous RX100 cameras have enjoyed, with a durable metal finish that completes the premium feel of the camera, although it's not weather-sealed. The slight downside to this relatively slimline design is the absence of any form of hand grip on the front of the camera, which compared to the comfy textured grip on the Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II, for example, is disappointing. There are a number of aftermarket solutions, some of which are very high-end, while Sony itself produces the optional AGR2 attachment grip for £14, $14.99, although considering the low price we'd really expect to see this bundled with the camera. The RX100 Vi springs into life almost instantaneously when switched on, or when you flick the switch on the side of the camera to activate the EVF. As we've mentioned, the new sprung mechanism for the EVF is a lot more satisfactory than the previous method of manually extending the viewfinder out from the housing once raised from the top plate. Rather unhelpfully, though, by default the RX100 Vi shuts down when you collapse the viewfinder back into the body. We reckon this will be one of the first functions you'll deactivate if you take the plunge with the RX100 Vi. Around the lens barrel is a customizable control ring that can be assigned to a range of functions. By default it's used to control aperture when you're in aperture priority mode, and shutter speed in shutter priority mode. Otherwise, there are relatively few body-mounted controls, with the 4-way control wheel on the rear of the camera the only other key control to access the camera's main shooting settings. This arrangement can make the RX100 Vi a touch fiddly to use, depending on the shooting combination you've selected. For instance, when shooting in aperture priority mode with flexible spot focusing selected, the 4-way control wheel is initially assigned to select the AF area size and its positioning. Should you want to dial in some exposure compensation, you'll have to hit the central button to deactivate the AF area option, before selecting exposure compensation and then using the 4-way control wheel to adjust. If you then want to toggle the AF point again, you'll have to go back into the function menu to select the focus area again.